Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to address the question, is training like a bodybuilder dumb? Before I get into that topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this. All right, so I want to hear your opinion on this, and drop a comment down below after you listen to the video. Or if you get sick of my ugly face, just stop it and drop a comment in and say, you're ugly, but here's my opinion. I was perusing the worldwide internet. Actually, I was searching the term bodybuilding in Google to see how Google was handling that term and which sites were at the top of the food chain and all that happy horse shit. So I was looking, and there was an article that popped up on the first couple of pages that says training like a bodybuilder is dumb. So I'm like, after you've made 8 billion videos like me, you kind of, run a little dry at times of topics, but I'm like, that's a pretty good topic. I want to talk about that. So, is training like a bodybuilder dumb? Before I get into my thoughts, and I'm just speaking off the cuff like I always do, I am known as being a power lifter, a strength guy, a power builder. I'm not known as a bodybuilder. I've never competed in bodybuilding. Never been lean enough to compete in bodybuilding, other than when I was in the military, and I was pretty darn thin and ripped at that time. But bodybuilding really fired me up, really piqued my interest to train back in 1986 when I was in college. I fell in love with Tom Platz and Arnold and Frigno and all those black and white old school guys that were in the books. Obviously the magazines had color print, but some of the bodybuilding books I had back at the time were black and white. I really fell in love with the grit and the chalk and the hardcore nature of dumbbell and barbell exercises. And these guys were just superheroes and larger than life. They weren't all these prancing pretty boys like you see now. No offense to the prancing pretty boys. I just don't want to be a prancing pretty boy. You know what? Not hating, not shaming. That's just my choice. Respect, all right? Respect the no BHUD shaming. All right, so I was in love with the bodybuilding lifestyle for about 20 years. The lifestyle, not the competition side of things. So, is training like a bodybuilder dumb? Well, for 20 years, that's how I trained. I trained with a reasonable amount of volume. I never dipped below 5 or 6 reps per set. I trained for weaknesses. I developed my strength training protocol or philosophy of getting everything as strong as possible from head to toe, because that was kind of weakness driven. When you have weaknesses in muscle parts, you try to get them stronger or bigger. So I got a lot out of bodybuilding training. It taught me to be disciplined. It taught me to think about balance, which is something, that can be lacking in the modern landscape, training landscape. People can do a lot for this, a lot for that, a lot for chest, a lot for biceps. There isn't always balance. We don't always think about balance. And beyond just bodybuilding or aesthetics, when it comes to strength training, balance is pretty important. You want to make everything strong in the body. You don't want to have any weak links or chains. For the average fitness person, the average person who just wants to get stronger and look better, and train over the course of their life, a little bit of balance goes a long way. You don't want to overtrain one movement pattern like pushing, horizontal pressing, and not do the reverse. You can develop muscular imbalances or imbalances that could potentially lead to injury. This is especially the case if you're training for many, many, many years. I can't tell you how many guys I know that have been training for a long period of time and are beat up with various injuries, and some of them could have been prevented. So there's an argument you could make that bodybuilding training and the balance that it is part of its world is actually beneficial for everybody. I think that's a reasonable statement. Bodybuilding taught me to use a reasonable amount of volume. In this day and age, there's a lot of minimalists. There's a lot of folks that are stuck on the 5x5 range. God bless you. No disrespect, man. A lot of folks don't do enough volume. A lot of the old school guys did a lot more volume. Bodybuilders tend to do a lot more volume. I always got strong using a moderate amount of volume. A moderate amount of volume in my world is generally high volume compared to a lot of other people. Bodybuilding taught me to make every set count. Arnold was a big proponent on pushing sets to the limit, and that's kind of what I always did, and it helped me naturally progress, and it helped me naturally auto-regulate, when it was time to progress. And by taking sets to the limit, I was recruiting a maximal amount of muscle fibers, and I was not just maximizing the muscle building process, but I was maximizing the strength building process as well. So there's a lot of wonderful things you can get out of training like a bodybuilder. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to what is the definition of training like a bodybuilder. And I think some of us tend to look at how lifters train now compared to how they trained building the majority of their muscle mass. Like all these lifters, all the big names, they put their current programs in the magazines and online. This is their end cap. This is the program based on all the information they learned over time, but it isn't necessarily how they built 90% of their muscle mass. And really, it's pretty comparable to how I built most of my muscle mass. Just a lot of progressive overload, a lot of focus on the basics, a reasonable amount of volume, et cetera, et cetera. So all the fancy shit that comes out of the bodybuilding world, all the fancy programs like FST7 and heavy duty and all that kind of happy horse crap, is kind of after the fact. It's usually developed by bodybuilders after they've developed a greater degree or the majority of their muscle mass. But anyway, obviously I'm not elevating bodybuilding training to some, godlike status. There's a lot of stupid crap that bodybuilders do. There's a lot of stupid beliefs that they have. There's a lot of stupid beliefs a lot of people have, so it's not limited to just bodybuilders. But if we're smart about it, if the average person is smart about their training and they use a reasonable amount of volume, they use progressive overload, they train for balance, bodybuilding training can offer a lot to the average person. I would never say it's dumb. In fact, I think it's more beneficial for the average guy who wants to power build and build muscle and strength that they train more like that, a more well-rounded program, more volume, than doing minimal programs, more minimalist programs. That's just my opinion. I'd like to know what you guys have to say, so drop a comment down below. Is training like a bodybuilder dumb? So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.